Welcome to Mythos AI, your source for Cliff's Notes on complex subjects. Join Anna and Phil for yet another engaging conversation.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we are going to be exploring the answer to Quizzipedia, Season 208, Question 3.
The category is Middle Eastern geography.
Okay.
The question is, this strategic plateau, located between Israel and Syria, has been a focal point of territorial disputes and military conflicts since the Six-Day War in 1967. Known for its elevation and significant military importance, it has also become a region of agricultural production and winemaking. What is the name of this area, internationally recognized as Syrian territory but currently administered by Israel?
And the answer is the Golan Heights.
Right.
This area is far more than just a geographical feature on a map.
No, it's not.
It represents a complex intersection of historical conflicts, strategic interests, and the lives of the people who call it home.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's a place where history, geography, and politics collide. It creates a microcosm of the broader challenges facing the Middle East.
Yes.
To really understand the Golan Heights, we need to look beyond its physical characteristics.
Right.
Delve into its symbolic meanings, its turbulent past, and the human experiences that have shaped its present.
Our deep dive will uncover why this contested territory remains a flashpoint in the region and what its future might hold.
Exactly. So let's start by examining the profound symbolism that the Golan Heights holds for both Israelis and Syrians.
Yep.
For Israelis, it's a strategic buffer zone, crucial for their security. They've invested heavily in agriculture and infrastructure, transforming it into a productive part of their economy.
For Syrians, the Golan Heights represents a loss of sovereignty, a constant reminder of the territory taken from them during the 1967 war.
Yes.
An open wound that fuels resentment and a longing for its return.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then to add another layer of complexity to all of this, you have the Druze community who have lived in the Golan Heights for centuries.
Right.
And they're caught between their loyalty to Syria and the reality of living under Israeli administration.
This creates a fascinating microcosm of the broader conflict, where individual lives are intertwined with larger political forces. To understand the present, we must journey into the past. The Golan Heights was initially part of the Ottoman Empire, then came under the French mandate for Syria after World War I. When Syria gained independence in 1946, the Golan Heights naturally became part of the newly formed nation.
Right.
However, this period of relative stability was short-lived.
Yes.
The Six-Day War of 1967 dramatically altered the fate of the Golan Heights.
The war resulted in Israel capturing the Golan Heights from Syria, recognizing its strategic importance, particularly its elevated position overlooking northern Israel.
Okay.
And then in 1973, during the Yom Kippur War, Syria attempted to regain control of the Golan Heights, but was ultimately repelled by Israeli forces.
Right, so this back and forth really underscores the Golan Heights' strategic significance for both sides.
Exactly. And in 1981, Israel took a controversial step by enacting the Golan Heights Law, effectively annexing the territory.
Right. This move sparked widespread international condemnation and was declared null and void by United Nations Security Council Resolution 497. It's crucial to remember that to this day, the majority of the international community considers the Golan Heights to be occupied Syrian territory.
Yes.
Fast forward to the 21st century, and we see the Syrian Civil War, which began in 2011, adding yet another layer of complexity to the already volatile situation in the Golan Heights.
Yeah, with Syria in turmoil and various militant groups, including Iranian-backed militias operating near the Golan border, Israel's security concerns escalated.
And the border region witnessed sporadic skirmishes and military incidents, leading Israel to take a more active role in the conflict.
Right.
Throughout the Syrian Civil War, Israel has conducted airstrikes targeting Iranian military assets, weapons convoys, and Hezbollah forces to prevent the buildup of hostile capabilities near their border.
And this intervention further solidified Israel's control over the Golan Heights. They're effectively using it as a buffer zone to keep potential threats at bay.
This brings us to a crucial question. Why is the Golan Heights so strategically important?
Well, it boils down to geography and resources.
Yeah.
The Golan Heights elevation provides a natural vantage point, allowing Israel to monitor activities deep within Syria.
Right.
And that's a significant military advantage.
Uh-huh.
Additionally, it gives Israel control over crucial water resources, including tributaries that feed into the Jordan River, a vital source of fresh water for Israel.
Beyond its military significance, the Golan Heights plays a critical role in Israel's economy. Its fertile volcanic soil makes it a hub for agriculture, particularly wine production, further solidifying its importance for Israel.
Right.
It's a prime example of how geography and resources are intrinsically linked with security and economic interests.
Yeah.
Now let's turn our attention to the legal arena surrounding the Golan Heights.
Oh, yeah.
We've touched upon the international community's stance,
Yes.
but let's delve deeper into the legal arguments at play.
So as previously mentioned, the UN and a majority of countries consider the Golan Heights to be Syrian territory under Israeli occupation.
Right.
And the stance is firmly rooted in international law, which prohibits the acquisition of territory by force.
Right.
UN Security Council Resolution 497, passed in response to Israel's annexation, explicitly declared it null and void.
Yep.
However, as with many international disputes, differing opinions exist. In a controversial move in 2019, the United States formally recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights.
Yes.
This decision, though welcomed by Israel, was met with strong disapproval from Syria and much of the international community. This further highlighted the complexities of the Golan Heights' legal status and how geopolitical alliances can influence territorial claims.
Yeah, it's a stark reminder that international law is often subject to interpretation and can be swayed by political reality.
Absolutely. Shifting our focus from the legal arena to the human dimension of this conflict, we need to consider who are the people living in the Golan Heights.
And how are their lives shaped by this ongoing dispute?
So the Golan Heights is primarily home to two distinct populations.
Okay.
Israeli settlers who began establishing communities after the Six-Day War, and the Druze community who have inhabited the region for centuries.
Right.
The Israeli settlers, numbering around 25,000, have become an integral part of the Golan's landscape, establishing farms, businesses, and a distinct Israeli presence.
The Druze community, also numbering around 25,000, faces a unique and complex situation. They are caught between their historical ties to Syria and the reality of living under Israeli administration for over 5 decades.
Many Druze have resisted taking Israeli citizenship, choosing to maintain their Syrian identity, a testament to their deep-rooted connection to their homeland.
However, in recent years, we've observed a shift. A small but growing number of Druze have applied for Israeli citizenship. This nuanced development reflects the evolving dynamics of the region and the difficult choices facing the Druze community.
It's a powerful illustration of how individual lives are shaped by this enduring conflict and how people adapt to changing circumstances.
Against this backdrop of tension, there have been numerous attempts to find a peaceful resolution to the Golan Heights issue.
Right.
Let's examine some of these efforts and why they ultimately failed.
Perhaps the most significant push for peace occurred in the 1990s with U.S.-sponsored talks between Israel and Syria.
Okay.
And there was hope that a deal could be reached involving a full Israeli withdrawal from the Golan Heights in exchange for peace and security guarantees.
However, these talks ultimately collapsed. Disagreements over key issues, such as the precise demarcation of borders, security arrangements, and the sharing of water resources, proved insurmountable.
Yeah, there was also a fundamental difference in the core positions of both sides. Syria insisted on a complete return of the Golan Heights, viewing it as an integral part of their sovereign territory.
Israel, on the other hand, argued that retaining the Golan Heights was crucial for their security, especially considering the volatile situation in Syria and the presence of hostile groups. And then the Syrian Civil War, erupting in 2011, further diminished the prospects of a negotiated settlement.
Right.
The conflict created a whole new set of challenges and priorities for both countries.
Yeah, it really sidelined the Golan Heights issue. And then you have the U.S. recognition of Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights in 2019.
Right.
That was a significant setback to the already stalled peace process.
While aligning with Israel's stance, this move further alienated Syria, making it even more improbable that they would agree to any concessions regarding the Golan Heights.
Absolutely.
This leads us to a crucial question.
Okay.
What does the future hold for this contested territory?
The future of the Golan Heights remains uncertain. It's shaped by this complex interplay of regional dynamics, shifting international alliances, internal political landscapes. I mean, this Syrian Civil War, though, showing signs of winding down, has left Syria deeply fractured and weakened.
And this undoubtedly diminishes Syria's capacity to exert pressure or effectively negotiate for the return of the Golan Heights.
Right.
Meanwhile, Israel has consolidated its hold on the territory. They've continued to invest in the Golan Heights, expanding settlements, developing infrastructure, and further integrating it into their economy.
This sends a clear signal that Israel has no intention of relinquishing control over the Golan Heights in the foreseeable future.
Now, the emergence of the Abraham Accords, normalizing relations between Israel and several Arab states, has also added a new dimension to the regional landscape.
Right.
While the Accords don't directly address the Golan Heights issue, they could potentially influence its future. The normalization of relations might encourage Syria to reconsider its hardline stance and explore the possibility of negotiations with Israel, especially if it seeks to reintegrate into the regional order.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
However, it's crucial to note that despite the Abraham Accords, the international community's position on the Golan Heights remains largely unchanged.
Right.
Most countries still consider it occupied Syrian territory and view Israel's annexation as illegal.
This creates a situation where there's a significant discrepancy between the reality on the ground, with Israel firmly in control of the Golan Heights, and the international legal framework that does not recognize this control. It appears improbable that any practical measures will be taken to change the status quo without major shifts in the geopolitical landscape or a renewed commitment to negotiations from both Israel and Syria.
Yeah, I think that's right.
The Golan Heights remains a highly sensitive and strategic area, and any attempt to alter the current situation could easily reignite tensions and destabilize the region. The lives of the people living in the Golan Heights are directly impacted by this ongoing uncertainty. Both the Israeli settlers and the Druze community must navigate a complex reality where political considerations often overshadow their daily lives.
So for the Israeli settlers, there is a sense of permanence and belonging, having built their lives and communities in the Golan Heights. However, they also live with the awareness that the future of the territory is not entirely secure and could be subject to change depending on political developments.
And the Druze community continues to grapple with issues of identity and belonging, with some choosing to embrace Israeli citizenship, while others maintain their loyalty to Syria. This highlights the deep divisions within the community, reflecting the challenges of living in a contested territory. Regardless of their individual choices, the Druze community as a whole faces an uncertain future. They are a minority group living in a contested territory, their fate intertwined with the broader political forces at play. Their situation is a stark reminder that behind the geopolitical maneuvering and legal debates are real people whose lives are profoundly affected by the decisions made by those in power.
That's a really good point. As we conclude our deep dive into the Golan Heights, we find ourselves with more questions than answers.
Will the current stalemate persist? Or will we witness a shift in regional dynamics that could create opportunities for a negotiated settlement? Will the international community play a more active role in seeking a resolution? Only time will tell. What is clear is that the Golan Heights will remain a focal point of attention, a place where history, strategy, and human lives intersect in a complex and often unpredictable way. The Golan Heights is a stark reminder that geography often dictates destiny, shaping not just the physical landscape, but also the lives and destinies of those who call it home.
It also underscores the enduring influence of history and how past conflicts continue to cast long shadows on the present.
Absolutely.
The Golan Heights embodies the intricate challenges of achieving lasting peace in a region deeply divided by conflicting narratives. And as we've explored, the legal status of the Golan Heights remains a point of contention. While Israel asserts its sovereignty, the international community largely views it as occupied Syrian territory.
Right.
This legal ambiguity further complicates any attempts at finding a lasting solution.
And the human cost of this conflict cannot be ignored. The lives of both Israelis and Syrians have been profoundly affected by this enduring dispute.
Absolutely.
Families have been displaced, communities divided, and the prospect of a peaceful future continues to remain out of reach for many. It's crucial to remember that behind the headlines and political rhetoric are real people whose lives are directly shaped by the decisions made by those in power.
Their stories, their hopes, and their struggles underscore the human dimension of this conflict, reminding us that peace and security are not abstract concepts, but rather fundamental needs for individuals and communities alike.
So, as we conclude this deep dive into the Golan Heights, we leave you with a final thought-provoking question.
Okay.
What role can the international community play in facilitating a just and lasting resolution to the Golan Heights conflict? A resolution that respects the rights and aspirations of all those affected by this enduring dispute. One that acknowledges the complexities of history, the importance of security, and above all, the value of human life and dignity. This remains the ongoing challenge for the Golan Heights and serves as a microcosm of the broader quest for peace in the Middle East.
Well said. I think that sums it up perfectly.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the Golan Heights. We hope you found it informative and engaging. Until next time.
Thanks for listening to Mythos AI. Stay tuned for more concise insights. And remember to hit the like button and subscribe for future episodes.